COVID-19 flash news, robots will enforce mask wearing. Yes, you read that right.
Would you like a collection of news, tips and free information for healthy living? Too easy. Just subscribe. And click the bell icon. And you'll never miss out again.
The government is becoming more tyrannical. Many national governments around the world have enforced wearing of masks in public places. In the US, some state and local governments have done so. Now the US feds are also thinking of jumping on the bandwagon. To that end, robots may be put to use in public buildings and transport systems to scan your face and remind you to put on your mask if you're not wearing it. How that might be extended to home use is anybody's guess, but if Dr. Deborah Birx gets her way, you'll be wearing masks there too. You need to really consider wearing a mask at home, assuming that you're positive. If you have individuals in your household with comorbidities, Birx said on CNN. In other news, CNN reported that some mask-wearing countries are considering putting pressure on non-mask countries to get on board and require their citizens to wear masks, too. For example, Sweden, Finland and the Netherlands have taken the stance that masks are pointless. Finland decided not to mandate masks at the end of May, citing studies that 5 of 8 systematic reviews found no evidence that the use of masks would provide any benefit in controlling sources of infection or protecting healthy persons from exposure to respiratory infections. Even Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is the face of the COVID-19 team in the US, was recorded in an interview saying that although wearing a mask might make you feel better, it might only block a drop of the virus. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask, he said. Fauci later changed his mind and began recommending mask wearing, but he still told NPR he didn't regret advising people not to wear them earlier. Confounding the debate is a warning on mask boxes that says they will not provide any protection against COVID-19 coronavirus. The warning's real, but you should still wear the mask, the CDC says, to help prevent the spread of the disease by blocking respiratory droplets that leave a person's mouth while coughing, sneezing or talking. To top it off, Canada's Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Theresa Tam said that mask wearing, as well as physical distancing, could be in place for another 2 or 3 years, even with a vaccine. If you think the mask craziness is bad, keep watching, it gets worse. Nobody's going to get into New York City without going through a sheriff patrol checkpoint. If Mayor Bill de Blasio gets his way. The mayor ordered the checkpoints Wednesday morning, August 5, 2020, explaining that they are meant to enforce an order Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo signed in July. According to Reason News, Cuomo's order requires New York visitors hailing from 34 states and Puerto Rico to self-quarantine for 14 days. The mayor intends to enforce the order by stopping everyone at bridges and tunnels to inform them of the quarantine rules. If you don't cooperate, you could be stuck with a $10,000 fine or a $2,000 fine for refusing to fill out required health forms. Currently, 35 states are on the governor's quarantine target list, which requires you to stay in your residence or hotel room for 14 days while you self-monitor for COVID-19 symptoms. The New York City Sheriff's Office will be manning the checkpoints. On to Australia. 7 people, all elderly, 3 over age 70, 2 over age 80, and 2 over age 90, died in one day in Melbourne, Australia, triggering a COVID-19 lockdown unheard of in the modern-day, free world. As a result, for the next 6 weeks, Melbourne residents can go outside their homes for only 4 reasons: shopping for food and supplies, exercise and recreation, medical care and caregiving, and study or work if you can't do it at home. Within that framework, only 1 person at a time is allowed out to shop, and then only once a day. Exercise outside is restricted to just 1 hour a day, with no more than 2 people outside exercising together at the same time. And if you're leaving your house for any of the 4 reasons, you're not allowed to go more than 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles, unless the closest store or your job is farther away than that. Sports such as golf and tennis are banned completely. To top it off, if Melbourne residents are considering fleeing to nearby New South Wales, forget it. Escapees face an $11,000 fine and 6 months in jail. What do you think of these Soviet-style, Orson Welles' 1984, tactics?